Egypt, the greatest empire on earth, a land of mighty kings, towering monuments, and unimaginable power. The River Nile brought life to the land and made Egypt one of the richest kingdoms the world had ever known. Pharaoh ruled with absolute authority. His word was law, and no one dared challenge his throne. Yet among the people of Egypt lived another nation, the Hebrews. Years passed. A new Pharaoh rose to power, one who did not remember Joseph or everything the Hebrews had done for Egypt. But as the years passed, the number of Hebrews continued to grow. Their families became larger, their communities became stronger, and Pharaoh became afraid. He feared that one day they would become more powerful than Egypt itself. So Pharaoh made a cruel decision. The Hebrews would become slaves. Across Egypt, the order spread quickly. Hebrew families watched in fear as soldiers arrived to enforce the king's command. The lives they had built were gone. Every sunrise now brought another day of forced labor. They mixed clay, they carried stones, they worked until their bodies could barely stand. But something unexpected happened. The more they were oppressed, the stronger their people became. Yet even after years of hard labor, the Hebrew people continued to grow. Their families multiplied, and their hope refused to disappear. News of their growing numbers soon reached Pharaoh once again, and this time, his fear became something far more dangerous. The king believed that if nothing changed, one day the Hebrews might become too powerful to control. Instead of choosing wisdom, Pharaoh chose fear. And fear has a way of turning powerful people into cruel rulers. Soon, a terrible royal decree spread across the land. Every Hebrew family would live under a shadow of fear. Far from the palace, in a quiet Hebrew village, one family prayed that God would protect them through the uncertain days ahead. Their home was simple, but it was filled with something no king could command: love. Then everything changed. A baby boy was born. As she looked into his eyes, she knew he was a precious gift. But beyond the walls of their home, danger was drawing closer. The family knew they had to protect their son. Whatever the cost, they would do everything they could to keep him safe. For many weeks, the family kept their baby hidden. Every cry filled the house with both love and fear. Each passing day became more difficult. The family knew they could not hide him forever. With remarkable courage, she prepared a small basket, trusting that somehow God would make a way. Before sunrise, the family walked together toward the Nile River, holding tightly to the hope they still had. With trembling hands, she placed the basket among the reeds and whispered one final prayer. Miriam refused to leave. She watched and waited. The basket drifted slowly with the gentle current, carried toward a destiny no one could imagine. That same morning, the daughter of Pharaoh came to the river. Then, something unusual caught her attention. She ordered one of her attendants to bring the basket to her. As the basket was opened, the princess was deeply moved by what she found. Compassion filled her heart. Watching from the reeds, Miriam gathered her courage and stepped forward. With respect, Miriam asked if she could find a Hebrew woman to care for the child. The princess agreed. Miriam hurried home with wonderful news. Soon, Moses' own mother stood before the princess, never expecting the answer she was about to hear. The princess looked at the Hebrew woman and said, "Take this child and care for him. I will reward you for your work." The mother could hardly believe it. The very child she had entrusted to God was now safely back in her arms. For the next few years, she lovingly cared for her son, teaching him about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But the day eventually came when the child was taken to Pharaoh's palace, where a completely different life awaited him. She gave the child a new name, Moses, because she drew him out of the water. Moses grew up surrounded by the wealth, wisdom, and power of Egypt. But deep within him, another identity was quietly taking root. Beyond the palace walls, the Hebrew people still lived under the crushing weight of slavery, and Moses had no idea that they were his own people. The child rescued from the Nile was growing into a prince, but heaven had already written a far greater purpose for his life. A Hebrew child, raised as an Egyptian prince, he had no idea who he truly was, but soon everything would change.